Hey, what's up, guys? Chris the Fisherman here. I'm just gonna do a quick video on how to use a baitcaster. I had a kid, I almost said guy. I had a kid today ask me how to use a baitcaster. So yeah, this video is gonna be on how to use a baitcaster. Anyways, let's get to this. Is my baitcaster. I got a lose reel and a Guggen Squad go-to rod. I think this is medium heavy. Yeah, medium heavy fast, 7 foot. So basically, when you're starting out, I could probably use one of my other rods for this, but when you're starting out, what you want to do, make this weedless real quick. When you're starting out, you want to set up your settings first. And I recommend for beginners to have braided line. I started with braided line and it's a lot easier. Braided line is thinner and it doesn't have any memory. And if you don't know what that means, it means basically after a while of using your line and it wraps around your reel, it'll get kind of like coiled up. So when you go to like throw it out, you just throw it out like this and you reel it back up. Like when you have slack in your line, it'll kind of coil. It'll want to coil, and that's what memory is. With braid, you don't have any memory, and it's a lot easier to pick out of your reel when you get backlashes. So, anyways, how to use a baitcaster. Okay, so the way I learned is you need to thread your line. So you want to keep your thumb on the line when you're casting it. Let's get to the settings first. Let's do settings first. Okay, so the best settings to start out with, right now my magnetic settings are on 4. What you want to do is you want to put it halfway. So you want to put it on 5 or 6. You just turn it to 5 or 6. And then you want to do your brakes. So this little knob right here, these are also your brakes. To make it tighter, you go clockwise. To loosen it up, you go counterclockwise. So, how you know your brakes are set correctly? You watch whatever lure you're using. Like right now I'm using a really light lure, just a hook and a bait. So if it falls really, really fast, then your brakes are too loose. So you tighten them up a little bit. You want it to fall just like that. You want it to fall kind of slow, but not to the point to where it's just like you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not too slow. You know what I mean? I like it a little bit faster. Some people say to, you know, kind of have it to where it drops very, very slowly. That's a good way to start out. So yeah, you probably should just do it that way. Have it to where it's falling just like that. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, next step. After you get your settings done, the best way to cast, to learn to cast, is to do sidearm. So sidearm is just like throwing like a spinning reel or any type of reel like that. You press the button, you keep your thumb on the line, and you do a sidearm cast. So you grip the bottom rod with your left hand and the top towards the reel with your right hand. I'm right-handed, but I like to use left-handed reels. It just feels more comfortable. So I'll cast this way. You're probably going to cast the same way if you're right-handed, with your right hand on the reel and your thumb on the reel. So you just cast, you just kind of swing it out there. And when you're doing that, a couple things to remember is keep your thumb threading the line. So you want to keep your thumb threading the line. You don't have to press it very hard, but when you're starting out, you want to have your thumb close to the line, because if you start to backlash, what'll happen is the line, if you don't have your thumb on the line, it'll be really hard to get out, especially if you're not using braid. It'll get really tangled. But if you have your thumb on the line, it won't be so bad, and you'll be able to pick it out pretty easily, or you won't backlash at all. So yeah, what else? Overhead casting. So overhead casting is a little bit harder because you have to kind of look out from around you, you know, look above you, make sure there's no trees or people around you. Also, when you're casting, try to keep, I like to keep about a half a foot, or about close to like, yeah, I'd say like half a foot or close to a foot of line length when I'm casting, just to help get it out there a little bit further. So overhead cast, pretty simple. Both hands on the rod like this, and then you bring it above your head, and it has to be one fluid motion. You don't want to like stop and then throw it. You kind of want to like sling it back, press it, and then go. Or you can press it before you sling it back. So I'll try it like this. I'll show you guys. Keep my thumb on the line, bring it above my head, and sling it out there, and thread the line. Pitching, you can pitch as well, or you can it's not really pitching. What's it called? I can't think of it. I can't think of it right now. We'll just call it pitching for now. But you want to grip your hook or whatever, so you don't hook yourself. You want to grip it at the back, or at least this is how I do it. Some people just grab it in their hand. The more experience you get, you can just grab it in your hand and throw it out there. I feel like you can get more momentum if you grab the back of the hook, kind of like this. The tip of the hook's in the bait, and I'm grabbing the back of the hook. And what you do is, you kind of, when you're starting out, you want the momentum of the bait to do all the work. So when you flip it out there, that's what it's called, flipping. When you flip it out there, you want the momentum to swing like a pendulum, and then you kind of give it a little flick on the end of your rod. And this will take a while, but this one's the easiest to practice. You can get like a bucket or something. This is what I did to practice. I got like a bucket, and I would just sit there and flip and try to hit the bucket, and or try to make it into the bucket, and I'd like reward myself with like points and stuff. So that's another way to do it. You can also cast left-handed, which takes a little bit more skill, but everything's the same. You always want to keep your thumb on the line and thread the line. So casting left-handed, same thing, except your left hand is on the reel and your right hand is gripping below your left hand, and then you just sling it out there. And if you don't get it at first, just keep practicing, and eventually you'll get it. I might not be the best teacher, but I definitely know how I learn. And my top 3 tips would be, the first tip would be to get braided line. My second tip would be to get a bucket and practice in your backyard or practice in your front yard, and try to hit the bucket and to get accurate, and make sure you're not using like hooks on your lures and stuff, in case you have dogs or something like that. They'll try to grab it. You don't want that, so make sure your hooks have like a guard on it or something like that, or you're not using a hookless or a hooked bait. And my third tip would be to get a cheaper bait caster. Not too cheap. I would say $50 to $100. That's a good price spending range. And if I could recommend a bait caster, I'm not sponsored, I would recommend a Black Max. Those are really good starters. And yeah, that's all you have to do. Just practice over and over again. And just remember, the overhand cast is the hardest, and doing a sidearm cast is going to be the easiest. So start with a sidearm cast and work your way to overhand cast, and then try flipping, pitching, and a left-handed cast. Anyways, Good luck, guys, and go get yourself a baitcaster.